This ship, the Shinoji Maru, has been at sea 14 days, sailing the open ocean between Japan and the United States. This man, Gene Woods, is one of only 5 people that can bring the ship safely into the Oregon International Port of Coos Bay and dock it. Captain Gene Woods is a Coos Bay pilot. Coos Bay Pilots are federally licensed master mariners who specialize in all the intricacies and quirks of their specific port.
Port 20.
They know the port's channel like the back of their hand. They know how tides and currents will affect the movement of a ship. And most important, they know how to get a ship in and out in all kinds of varied weather and tidal conditions. Pilots are crucial for the ship owners and the public's safety. This ship, the Blue Magpie, tried to enter the harbor at Newport, Oregon during a fierce winter storm without a pilot. The result was disaster. Disaster clearly for the ship owner, and disaster later for the birds caught in the oil spill that followed. Pilots are crucial for people, for property, and for wildlife and our environment. Captain Wood's first task when coming aboard a ship that has just seen land for the first time in 14 days is not to navigate.
Good to see you here. We'll get you inside and through the dock. Okay.
The pilot must assure the ship's master he knows what he's doing, and he'll get the ship in safely on time.
Okay. Starboard side. Starboard side.
As the ship approaches the Coos Bay entrance, Captain Woods must turn his attention to navigation. The deep draft ship channel is 600 feet wide where the bay meets the ocean, and then quickly narrows to a 300-foot width. There's not a lot of room for error here, and tides, currents, and wind can dramatically affect the way the ship turns.
These vessels are nearly 700 feet long, and we're operating in a turn here right now that's within a 300-foot width. And unless you're doing this all the time, why, you don't have the proficiency you need to just come in one time and do it. So it's local knowledge situation, and the ships have to have it to get in and out. That's all. Starboard 10.
Pilots have been around a long time. The ancient Greeks in the Bible referred to the important role pilots played in helping ships navigate close to shore. One of the first acts of the Oregon Territorial Legislature in 1846 was to license pilots on the Columbia River because they were so crucial to maritime commerce. As Oregon and her international trade grew, the port of Coos Bay blossomed into a major shipping center. Pilots were licensed by the state in Coos Bay beginning in 1931 as bigger ships from other countries began to call. Coos Bay pilots have been navigating bigger and bigger ships in and out of Coos Bay ever since. Today, their job is a real challenge. This is one of the biggest ships coming in and out of Coos Bay. The Elgarin is over 700 feet long, 100 feet wide, and towers 130 feet above the water. Pilot Steve Sweet is navigating the Elgarin toward one of the greatest challenges in Coos Bay, the narrow opening of the railroad bridge.
Port 20. Port 20.
This big, wide ship has less than 45 feet to spare on each side when passing through the bridge. Captain Sweet's extensive knowledge of navigation and local conditions makes safe passage possible even if it is a little tight. The challenge doesn't end at the railroad bridge. Just ahead is the highway bridge, with about 9 feet of clearance if the tides are average and the ship goes under the highest span at the center of the bridge.
194. 194.
Rounding the bend under the McCullough Highway Bridge to many of the docks in the port of Coos Bay, the ship will begin to need assistance from towboats. The pilots have operated a towboat company since the 1930s to ensure ship assistance services were available in Coos Bay.
Easy, both boats.
Working as a team,
Easy, Gus.
the pilot and towboats deliver the ship to the dock safely and on time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain. We'll see you soon.
Welcome again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Captain Steve Sweet has a big job to do this morning. He has to pilot the 703-foot Elgarin through the port of Coos Bay to the open sea.
Push half, Chris. Port bow.
Sweet will be assisted by 2 of the pilot's towboats,
Easy, Chris.
and in the process of navigating the channel, put on a dazzling display of coordination and communication between pilot and towboat.
Right down the middle again, Loogie.
This fully loaded ship draws about 30 feet of water, leaving pilot Sweet little clearance above the bottom of the very narrow channel.
I figure right now we've got about 6 feet under keel clearance, and on each side of us here in the bay we have approximately 100 feet on each side of the ship. And when we're approximately 750 feet long here and we're turning in these tight corners, it really eats up our extra room that we have on the sides in a hurry. And if you could pull all the water out of this bay and have this ship here, which of course is impossible, but if you could, then you could see the closeness of the quarters here, and it's the same in the lower bay, except even narrower.
This map shows a portion of the course Captain Sweet must navigate. A ship under its own power rarely negotiates this turn alone. Tugs are usually necessary, and they must have skippers that know the bay and can communicate clearly with the pilot. Tug Coos Bay skipper Loogie Lockhart has worked ship assistance in Coos Bay for 18 years. Tug North Bend skipper Gus Boudry has been at it 10 years. They work as a team, turning the tight corner through the coordinated effort of 2 tugs and the pilot in the wheelhouse.
Now you see what that boat's doing? I haven't told him a thing, and he's clear over there to the left, hard over, pulling me around, and about the time we get into this center of the channel, he'll be easing right back again and coming straight behind her and keeping me right in the center, and that just comes from years of experience.
Turning a ship around on the open ocean is pretty simple, but turning one around in a shallow bay, in a turning basin that is 800 feet wide, when the ship is over 700 feet long, gives the pilot less than 50 feet to spare at each end. Not a lot when tides, currents, and wind may be working against you. The teamwork pays off.
Half both boats. Two-thirds both boats. Keep me posted on that distance forward, please, Chris.
Well, right now it's about 90 feet.
Okay. These guys know exactly where the cut lines are. Even though the cut lines may be covered with water, they know because they've taken soundings all around this bay area, and they can tell me exactly how far I have as far as clearance on the bow and the stern as we're turning these big things in Coos Bay, and keep me where I should be.
Under the highway bridge, with 9 feet to spare, through the railroad bridge, with less than 45 feet on each side, one close call after another, without incident or accident. Pilot Suite makes it look easy.
It appears very easy, and as long as everything is going fine, it is easy. But when things are out of control, there isn't anything that's graceful about problems with these ships. And to make it look easy is what we strive to do so that the officers are pleased with our services. However, there may be times that you're in a little bit of a tight situation, and only you know for sure because you know exactly where the cut lines are in this channel, and maybe the captain doesn't. So what you need to do is sweat on the side of your face that's away from the captain.
There's no sweat on either side of Suite's face on this trip to the ocean. Another safe passage in and out of Coos Bay successfully completed. The Coos Bay Pilots have an excellent safety record and pride themselves on keeping ships on schedule. They do all this for very reasonable rates. Their combined cost of pilotage and ship assistance in Coos Bay is among the lowest on the West Coast. Safe, on time, low cost. It's a combination that serves the shipper well and benefits the public, whose jobs depend on an active port. The Coos Bay Pilots, part of a time-honored tradition, a tradition of safety and service.
You got it, man.